Hello, everybody. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. How's
Got my
everybody?
notebook covered up because when I take notes, because we got Mr. Bryan Chamberlain in the house tonight, I'm gonna take some notes.
I
I'll make
got, I
sure I
got
got my
some,
notebook handy.
I got a
Right?
bunch of stuff written down already. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right.
Bunch of questions I'm ready to ask Brian. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna write some questions, but I didn't. But I figure I'll come up with some. Right.
Uh, I wrote down a few, and we can wing the rest, I guess.
Hey, man, I think we're at another record again. We got 25 people in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's because Brian's on here. He just
That's
like
right. We should have
scooped
Bryan
us up
every week,
here.
right? we should have Bryan on here every week. Bryan, you need another job, man. You need one more. Well, anyway, so here you go, guys. This is Bryan from Sundown Audio and Sundown After Dark podcast. And here he is. And apparently he's done a lot of other things we're fixing to find out about. Hey, sir.
What's poppin', fellas?
Man,
Hey,
we
sir,
don't
how are
know.
you?
How about you?
I am doing a lot better now that I found out I have got my first negative COVID test today, so I can go back to work now.
Right?
Congratulations.
You had the COVID, huh?
So yeah, and Billy, you were there. You were there, right? You and I had a. I was
Yeah.
inebriated, but you and I had a long.
Right?
You and I had a long conversation,
Yeah.
and I believe it was that night that I contracted COVID.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, I
at
guess
the
I'm
axe
lucky
throwing
'cause-
place.
Yeah, because we were all there doing the same thing.
Yeah. So it wasn't till 5 days later or 6 days later I found out I had it, and then I've been in quarantine ever since.
Mm. So was it tough? Is it tough or was it easy?
So do you remember I was sick before our show? Probably about, I think it was that Tuesday or Wednesday before our show. I was sick that whole week. Then we had our show, and I was sick during the show, and then I was sick after the show, and then I got COVID. And it's I really think that everything because whenever I get sick, I bombard my system with everything, And I was like, okay, I have COVID now, but I don't feel any different. So I think that whatever I took while I was sick kind of made my experience with COVID a little bit easier.
Right? Yeah, I believe that. I think.
I take literally everything. Vitamins. I take
that's huge, man.
Like Asian stuff. Yeah, tea.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm going to throw at my system, I take it. And I still to this day, I still have a nasal. I'm sure you can hear. I still have a nasal thing going on. Other than that, I'm good. So I lost my taste and smell. I felt a little funny, but I'm good.
Lucky it wasn't life-threatening for you.
Yeah. And I was a smoker for 20 years. I just quit
Wow.
A couple months ago. I still vape, I do have a vape thing, but I was a heavy smoker for 20 years, and I was a little worried. But I'm not the type of person to get vaccinated though, so I'm actually a big anti-vaxxer myself. So I did not get the vaccine, and here I am. I got COVID. Now I'm happy I got it because I can get it over with.
Right.
I got the immunities now.
Yeah. You're good to go.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm surprised. I've probably been to 100 car shows since it come out, and I tested for the antibodies not too long ago, and I've not had it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're bound to get it, man. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
But I tell you what, I'm pretty strong on those vitamins myself, and I've just naturally social distance now, you might say. Pretty good.
Well, I have a daily regimen that I take. Because I had, and still every once in a while I have liver issues. It's not from drinking. It's, in my opinion, it's probably due to poor eating habits. And every 6 months I have to get liver enzymes checked. I have to take certain vitamins and minerals and herbs that help my liver out and keep my liver clean. And I have my daily routine of different things I take, and I don't get sick often, but when I do, it's usually pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, until COVID's gone, emergency pack a day. You know, emergency.
There you go.
Emergency, yeah, absolutely.
One a
I got
day.
a whole box of it.
One a day.
Are you
Right.
on your cell phone, Brian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, not that I care. It's just there's been like probably 15 different people that said hi to you, and I think you can't see the comment
Oh yeah, he may not
because
be
he's on
seeing
his cell phone.
comments.
No, there's a button here that says chat. Maybe if I press that button, I can see the chat. We can click that, maybe.
You could try.
Sometimes it's if you rotate your phone, but I don't know.
Let's see, comments. Here,
Comments.
so if I can see the comments and see the chats, the only problem is I can't see you guys when I do that. So I'm gonna
Oh yeah, that's weird.
gonna just. How about this? If somebody asks a question,
Yeah, we'll
just
take
go
care
ahead
of it.
and put it up there. So
Yeah.
as you can see, I'm home because I've been home for over a week now,
Right.
and we were gonna do this at my studio.
Mm-hmm.
At the Sundown After Dark studio. Maybe I was going to have some other people that work with me come on.
Yeah.
And that did not happen. So here I am at home. Just you got me on my
That's
cell
a
phone.
cool looking studio. I walked through. I didn't see it. I think when I walked through there, you guys might have been doing something. But I've sent. Once
You
we
probably
talked
had
about
Drew
having
in
you
there.
come on there, I went and spied some photos on the After Dark page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool, man.
Oh, you're cool. Yeah. Because you came by and you checked it out. So I've got 7 microphones and 5 cameras in that studio.
Right. What kind of cameras?
I use the Logitech. I think it's a C930E.
C920 or C930? Yeah.
That's what I have.
Yeah, I use a 930.
I've got the 920. I've had it for years.
I use 5 of those, and I had to buy some stuff to upgrade my computer. I built the computer in that room, and I had to buy like an extra card that has 4 extra. They're called bus lines for USB 3.
USB 3, yeah.
That way you don't because
Right.
each camera needs its own bus line.
Right.
And I had to set it up with OBS. You and I were talking about that, and I think I'm going to start using this program whenever I do the live stuff, the program you guys use.
Yeah.
Entwined with my OBS.
I found another one that I think you might like better. Costs the same.
Okay.
I'm going to switch to it soon. Just haven't done it yet. So we probably have another conversation. This one's awesome. The other one's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't used this is StreamYard, right?
StreamYard, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't used this one, but you guys and a few of the other podcasters in the audio industry also use StreamYard. And I've been thinking about it.
Easy.
So for me, and I know we're not going to get into like all of this right now, but all of my equipment and the software and the computer and the cameras and the microphone, to get all that just to work with what I have is hard enough. Then to bring in another software program to mix with it and to do things live, it's a real pain in the ass. So I have not dabbled into that yet, but I definitely need to, because I want to do stuff like you guys, and that way I don't have to have people come to the studio, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I've actually been a really avid follower of the Sundown After Dark, and I've watched 2 or 3 times where you've actually been on there and you've stored a bunch of videos and footage when you lost all that stuff from last year or the year before.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, yeah, and that's kind of why I like StreamYard. Yes, it doesn't. I don't think it gives us a capability of saving it, but you guys want to see it get on. You do save them, Bill?
Every one of them.
Okay, absolutely. So
with OBS, I have the option to just go live on one program, which when I go live, I usually do it on YouTube. Now, with you guys using StreamYard, you can go live all over the place at the same time, right?
105.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to do that.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? So I lost my train of thought already. Oh, yeah. So sometimes, like when I have a special guest on, I like to record with OBS. That way I can put commercials in and try to get some, drive up some revenue in a different way,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I do commercials for like DJ Rusticles and people like that.
That's a cool deal. So, so man, you're at Sundown now. So I was talking with Jimmy earlier, and I didn't know you used to have Directronics.
He used to own
Yeah.
Directronics.
So
Yes, sir.
what did you start out when you about 18? When did you what you go doing?
So I started. Well, I was working at Sundown before Directronics.
Yep.
Okay, so
So
I don't even know, but how long has Sundown been around in business?
2006 is when we
Okay,
started.
and you don't mind me asking, what was your age?
When I started in Sundown, well, that Jake's the owner. I'm not the owner. I didn't start Sundown.
Right.
So when I started, I think I was 26, 28, somewhere around there. I'm 34. I'm almost 35 now.
Uh-huh.
So I started off. We were still in Troutman, which is a small town. Which we're still in a small town now, but it was a smaller facility. And basically, they just brought me on as the office dude because nobody felt like dealing with people anymore.
Right.
Because at that time, it was just Jacob and Brandon and Jacob's mom that were handling the office stuff.
Yep.
Jake doesn't like talking to people, and Brandon got tired of talking to people. And Debbie, she can only do so much. That's Jake's mom.
Right.
So they brought me on to do like tech support and just general orders and stuff like that. They brought Derek on 2 weeks before me to handle warehouse management, and it kind of blossomed from there. Now I'm considered the office manager. I handle just stuff going on in the office. Derek handles stuff that goes on in the warehouse, and then you got Jake and Brandon. They're still doing their thing. They're more behind the scenes. Well, actually, Brandon's really behind the scenes. You never see Brandon.
Right.
Jake, you'll see. Jake will pop in.
I was up there.
You did. You just didn't know who he was.
Okay.
So, and Jake will pop in. Jake does most of the engineering in general for the company, but he tries to stay out of the light as much as he can as well.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Yeah. So what about prior to that? What were you doing then?
I was. My whole story with Sundown's kind of weird. How it all worked out.
Uh-huh.
So I knew Jacob and his family when I was in high school, but my career, and I have always wanted my career to be in car audio since I was 13, since before I met Jake and his family.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me, I got the sniffles.
Yeah.
So, at the age of 13, I lived in Philadelphia. I'll try to make this quick. I used to go to a pawn shop just to kill time. I learned from those guys at the pawn shop how to do just standard car audio stuff. I would watch them do their thing. I got really interested. I grew up. When I was in high school, I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I was installing stuff in people's cars. At the age of 19, I was working a construction job, and I got laid off, which gave me the opportunity to go to school while I was on unemployment. So I went down to Florida and I went to Installers Institute, and I got my MECP certification.
Yeah, all right.
And came back up. First job, just like a lot of guys, I worked at Best Buy. Actually, I worked in their sales department, and when the car audio section was like this big thing, And then I did some installs there too. And then it kind of blossomed from there, doing backyard installs all my life. And when I got the call from Jake to come work for him, I was doing breathalyzers. I was installing breathalyzers in people's cars.
Right.
The interlock system.
Yeah.
Interlock system, yeah.
I don't like that. I did not like that job at all. The cool thing about that job is you meet a lot of people, a lot of very interesting people, because everybody gets a DUI. Doesn't matter if you're super rich or poor as shit.
Right.
So you do meet a lot of interesting people, but the politics involved was in having to do DMV paperwork and stuff like that. It kind of gets to you.
Yeah.
So I was actually having a really bad day one day, and Jacob called me and said, "Hey, Brian, I know you want to work for me." He's like, "Look, I can't really give you much more than you're making now, but I can at least meet what you're making right now." I said, "All right, cool. Put my 2 weeks notice.
Right. Sign me up.
Do this."
Yeah.
Right. And So I've been there ever since. That was 2000. That was April 1st, 2013.
Okay.
So
Wow.
April Fools to me.
Right. That's funny.
Well, I got a question that I've heard from a lot of people, and I'm sure you've answered this probably 15,000 times.
Okay.
Why did you sell Directronics?
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to the Directronics
Yeah,
thing.
we still go. Yeah.
All right, let me get to that. So,
Me and you've had this conversation, and I actually know the true answer, but
well, there was a point in time. Well, the reason why I started the company, there was a point in time where Sundown did do refurbs, but we got too busy and we stopped doing refurbs. So I was like, I got some extra time and I could use the extra money. Let me go ahead and start building refurbished subwoofers because there's a ton of woofers that are blown. Why not build them, you know?
Right.
And there weren't a lot of people doing it at the time that we allowed to do it, I should say. Because Sundown only allows a handful of people to purchase their soft parts.
Yeah.
And, I worked there. Why not? I'm going to do it. So I started the company. I started doing a lot of custom stuff, and people really liked it. And the company blew up too big. I owned Directronics for 2 years. And the first 2 years, I did almost $300,000 in revenue.
Dang.
And I'm still working full time at Sundown at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I had to make a choice. I was like, what do I do? It was like, I really like what I'm doing. I like working for myself, but it is risky, and I have a family.
Yeah.
I said, well, I see the potential Sundown has. Obviously, it's growing every year. Let's go ahead and sell Directronics, and then go ahead and stay working for Jake at Sundown, because I felt it was the least riskier thing for me to do. I have job security, so to speak. You know, we've been growing very well.
And doing something you like.
Yeah. So I sold the company. There were some hiccups there in the beginning.
I was going to say you sold it, bought it back, sold it, and then...
Well, I never really sold it to begin with the first time. The money part didn't happen. So I took the name back. And then a few months later, Dan Horner, who you all see, he's doing a fantastic job with the company right now. He has definitely reached the level that I wanted that company to be that I couldn't bring it to because I was working full time. So Dan's doing a beautiful job with the company right now.
Well, you can't forget his wife, because Dan, he is amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
she runs that company.
Yeah, Kayla kicks ass. She keeps him in line too.
Keeps him in check for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, they're good folks. They're doing really well. I know right now, this particular time, us at Sundown, we're having a pretty hard time with parts. Getting parts from overseas, which has bottlenecked down to our parts buyers. So Directronics, Dave Lieb is another guy, Corey Dean. A lot of these guys are having to get parts in a different manner, or their own parts from different sources, which hopefully that gets alleviated soon, but everything is bottlenecked right now.
Yeah, understandable for sure.
I think it's a problem everybody's having.
Yep. Yeah, Directronics and Dave Lieb, who's DL Designs, they now do the Sundown Retro woofers, which they brought back. We licensed to them the ZV4 and NSV3 woofers, and we even updated the motors for them in the meantime.
Yeah, cool. Pretty
so
awesome.
They're busy.
Right.
Okay, now here's a question that I know everybody wants to know, and I'm sure you probably can't say much, but maybe you can give us a little hint.
All right.
Anything new coming out with Sundown?
So I've been pushing. There's always new stuff.
Everybody wants to see the version of the NSV3s come back.
Well, they are. That's the Sundown Retro. That's why we let those guys handle that. Sundown Retro now has NSV3s. There's so much new stuff going on, guys. It's constant. Jake's constantly doing his thing. So, where do we? So our newest thing that is out now, and there's still more stuff coming, is the Sundown Power Sports side of things. We finally broke into the power sports market, because it's a huge market now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So we've got 6.5 inch and 8 inch, like horn loaded driver mids, with the kind of like the wet sound stuff with the big horn driver in the middle.
Mhm.
So that's 6.5, 8 inch. We've got 8 inch subwoofers. We are working on a Marine 10 inch subwoofer, which Jake's only posted a little bits of stuff about, but it'll be the first high excursion, infinite baffle Marine grade subwoofer.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
I can't talk a whole lot about that. I personally don't even know a whole lot about it, but that will be out probably next year, I assume.
Really, Jason? That's funny, actually. Here, you got to see this comment.
Needs affordable Neos.
Right.
So, in order to make a Neo affordable, you make it not Neo.
I was going to say exactly Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So we have the Neo Pros, and now we have we had SXMPs, which were a mid-bass driver that was ferrite. We did away with the SXMPs. Now we have the LCMRs, which are a little bit cheaper. So now it's LCMR, Neo Pro, then the Vex series, which is a very high fidelity, high SPL mid-range driver. What else do we have? Yeah, that's it for mid-ranges, except for, obviously, you've got our coaxes and components, E series and SA series.
SA's, yeah. SA's been around for a long time.
Yep, and every couple of years we revamp the SA series speakers and make them a little bit better.
100%. So when's the next Sundown After Dark show?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe tomorrow.
All right.
I've been home for so long. Thank God I had I did some recordings during our show, and I was able to get out the one with Ed Lester and Rich Tornetta.
Yes, that was a good video.
With Spark. I got that out, and then I ended up with COVID. So it'll probably be maybe tomorrow. If I can round up all the guys tomorrow, maybe we'll do a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I reached out to Rich when I was there at the Sundown show, and asked him if they'd want to come on. He said he wasn't the guy, but Ed, and I don't know Ed, but said Ed would be the guy.
Yeah, Ed's a good guy. Yeah.
So maybe
I can hook you up. They would love the exposure. Definitely.
I just want to say maybe you can put in a good word for us, and I'll reach out to him.
You just message me because I'll forget. That's how I am.
I will. Yeah, I remember I tried to contact you guys for a long time, even last year for the Sundown show. Yeah.
How did you like the show, Bill?
Man, I tell you what I liked about it is it wasn't a country mile across there. There was a lot of good stuff there, and you could walk it. No
circle.
Yeah.
Right.
Just start. It's hot as shit, but you gotta walk that circle.
Yeah, it's hot. But it's hot everywhere. But there's a lot of stuff there, and geographically, you don't take you an hour to go from one side to the other.
Right.
It was.
And awesome. You can cut across. It's a really nice place. As you can see, especially this year, last year was about the same. We filled that track up.
Oh yeah.
You can only imagine it. Imagine if there wasn't COVID, how many people would have came.
Yeah.
Right.
So I need to take this out. My ear itches. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a fun show. I really liked it. And that was the first time I had been as well.
I had planned on being this year, but a couple things happened and I had to
you had a different show, didn't you?
Yeah. I had a show in Oklahoma that exact same day where I would have came, but
Right. So where are you guys located?
Billy is in
Louisiana
Mississippi. Or Mississippi.
Yeah, I'm in Mississippi.
And
so you're getting hit right now then with all those storms.
Yeah. But the area I'm at wasn't very bad. The Louisiana guys, they really got hit hard. They're the ones that are struggling, but I didn't even lose power.
Drew still without power. I'm in Kansas.
Kansas, okay.
Yeah.
So you just get tornadoes. You're used to the wind.
Yeah, the wind's nothing here. We go outside and watch the tornadoes. You ever see that meme go across where there's like people in the north that sit out on their front porch and watch the tornadoes? That's me.
Yeah, nice. I would too. As long as I had a storm shelter I could run to if I had to.
Well, you got Wichita. I saw that on that movie Twister. A lot of tornadoes up there.
Yeah.
A lot of beef flying in the air, guys.
Oh boy.
Right?
I'll be in Wichita this weekend, actually, doing a show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Or not Wichita, Topeka, Kansas. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Topeka. That's right.
Topeka, yeah. So let's see. There was you kind of pretty much answered my other 2 or 3 questions I had written down here for you.
Oh, you want real quick? So you're talking about stuff coming down the pipeline. I always try to talk about this when I can. We have some really cool technology that we've been working on for years now, and COVID definitely put a damper on this. But it is the American-made amplifiers, and this is a real thing. It's really happening. We've been talking about it for years. Again, I can't go too deep into the technology because it will be patented and licensed technology. But this is basically, think of this. What's the signal noise ratio on like a high-end home amplifier? Like 120, somewhere around there. So
I have no idea.
Think of that. Super clean sound, but in a form factor about the size of a cell phone at 3,000 watts.
Dude.
Yeah. So we're looking at super small form factor. Obviously, if you got 3,000 watts, you need to have still like zero gauge inputs.
Yeah.
So you still have to have that part of the board be big for your input side of things.
You still talking 12 volt stuff or?
Yep, it's 12 volts. And the cool thing about this technology is it's not outrageously expensive. And by the time it comes on the market, it'll be same price range as, let's say, the Korean made stuff right now. Like our Salt series.
Yeah.
And we're talking extremely high fidelity. Nobody on the market has an amplifier that will have like the signal noise ratio like something like this. So super clean,
That's
very powerful,
cool. Yeah,
very small,
right.
and cheap.
Now,
well, not cheap, but somewhat cheap.
If we could just get these guys some clean input signal, right? Is that next in the pipeline? I'm assuming if you put garbage in, you still get garbage out.
Can't make them drink. Sorry.
Huh?
I said you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Right. So we have dabbled in the whole DSP thing. There are some thought and some works in the works. I messed that whole thing up. There are.
Twinkles in your eye.
Yeah, we thought about doing the DSP thing. I don't know how far we've gotten into it. That's not really my side of things. Whether or not it's actually going to happen, I don't know. It may be something that we put in line with the American-made amplifier side of things, whatever that happens.
I would just imagine that everything, new and old, gotta be coming to a halt just because of not able to get parts. I understand that's a problem.
People gotta quit. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of delays, especially in the SFB amplifiers, especially the 8K, because it uses that chip that the factory burned down or whatever, or went out of business. It uses that chip, so we've had to kind of revamp a lot of things when it comes to that. So as many people know, the SFB series is going to be discontinued, and the SIA series is taking it over. Little by little, we're kind of filtering them out. Yeah. While we're doing that was when this whole thing with the chip company happened overseas. So the whole process has been delayed because of that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's a pain.
Yeah. It is.
Can't plan anything.
As for a clean source signal, we're not getting in the head units at all.
Right.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And Patrick Cameron's correct. We always set the bar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It can't be real wise to build this amplifier and put all that money into that stock and then have a half a cent resistor that you can't get keep you from putting it out on the street and getting your money back.
They literally have to change like the whole board and how the circuitry works just to be able to alleviate or change that value.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you guys do a lot of amazing stuff over there. I've been a huge fan of you. I've ran your product for years. Hell, I actually still to this day actually have a Sundown for Life Facebook page.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Right.
And well, I mean, I'm not going to flip the camera around, but there's a ZV 510 sitting over there with Jacob's signature on it. It's never had power.
Yeah, I've known you for a while, Jimmy. I think you and I met at Slamology years ago.
Yeah, I've bought quite a few Recones for you for 8s, for 12s, because that's kind of what I do up here. I do Recones for a lot of the guys up here. Yes, I can do parts, but I just hate to. I push them off to you guys and let you guys build it for me and just give me a drop in. It's so much easier. I don't want to deal with
it. How do you shim your woofers?
The good old plastic spacers, because nobody will ever give me some of the nice green built ones.
They're not for sale.
I know. Trust me, I asked you like probably 3 years ago. I begged. No, let me rephrase that. I begged you 3 years ago. Please give me some of the green shims.
And I didn't sell you any, did I?
No, you told me the exact same thing. They're not for sale and nobody can have them.
Yeah, I may sell them every once in a while if we've got some rough looking ones and maybe we got a new batch in.
Holler at me.
So, shoot me a message. I might sell you one, Jimmy.
And I need a weight.
But let me tell you this. Weights are for sale. I can sell weights. They're expensive. Yeah, they're expensive, but we do sell them. We do have them for sale.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give you a little pointer. You don't need those.
I use 6.5s and a can on top of it.
Well, that works. But for a shim, so we used to use paper a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paper works, but it tears and it can get gritty. And so you know what I found out back when I was running Directronics? On woofers where I didn't have a company made shim for, I would use that transparent, not paper, but remember that transparent stuff that the teachers used to use on that thing? Yeah. It's real thin.
It's real.
You just use that stuff as however many you need to get it to be tight, but it slides super easy, and you can reuse it constantly.
I've had enough. I guess I want to say subwoofers come through here. I save all the factory made plastic little 5x5 or whatever they are, little squares that they give you. Did you shim them up? And I've saved them from every company, and I reuse them all. And
what I can't stand is when you see people using like cards, like playing cards, or like pieces of really thick paper, and they've got a gap, and I can't stand it.
I hate seeing them when they use the I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say.
It's like
vanilla folders. The vanilla folder stuff. I hate that. That's like really.
I mean, some people they just don't know any better, and they're watching YouTube videos of some dude in his garage. But I'm telling you, basically, you gotta have it even all the way around, and that's just not the way to do it. People use some freaking what the hell are they called? Popsicle sticks and shit.
Wrap the tape around the popsicle stick and then get Well, and that's like I had a conversation with a gentleman the other day down here, and he swore up and down he's been doing recones in a while. And I was like, okay, well, tell me how you do the rope technique. And he looked at me and he was like, rope technique? I was like, you don't know how to rope a subwoofer?
That's like a DD audio thing.
Yeah. I was like, well, what about epoxy in the back side of the cone? Or the back side of, And he was like, you don't need to do that. And I was like, obviously you have not been brought up to date. You're still stuck back in the 90s and
where things didn't move.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we use triple joint rings is what we call them. They're like a collar.
Yeah,
we have them
plastic collars.
We have specific ones made for specific speakers, basically.
So much better than having to wrap it with a rope.
Yeah. Oh God, the rope technique. It's time consuming.
Very. Oh, God.
Well, I haven't ever built one, so but I talked when I was up there. I talked to Christopher Munson. He said I come back up there and he showed me how to build a subwoofer too.
Yeah, Chris
So
is a good guy, man.
I'll be
Easy.
seeing you in another month or so. I hadn't really figured out the time, but it won't be long. I'm gonna come back up there.
You guys
Get
are
some
always welcome.
education. Huh?
We'll get you on my show.
Yeah. We'll have fun.
I'd love to come up and actually just take a tour of the shop one day.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
So we're
pretty
not really
big,
doing
man.
tours, but I would make an exception for you guys.
Yeah, I walk through there. You know, when it's a lot there. It's kind of like a maze. When you think you're at the end, you just go a little further. There's another door.
Oh, the building is just huge, guys. It's ridiculous.
I remember when you guys first bought it, the walkthrough of it, it was like it just kept going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we only use maybe 40 to 50% of the building for Sundown at the most. There's a whole basement. There's a whole another building attached to the building that we rent out to a few other companies. Audio Apex is one of those companies.
Dan talking stuff. Do you see Dan? Always Dan Current, you know.
Yeah.
You leave Christopher alone, and everybody else. Chris.
Yeah. Dan's a good guy. He was actually last year during our annual show. I think Dan Current was there. He came on the podcast for a little bit too and had a good time with us.
I guarantee the video.
I always have fun with Dan.
I came to Sundown Show this time to hang with Dan. It was a plan we made.
Right.
And Dan didn't come.
Damn it, Dan.
Because he was down here hanging
he
at
went
my
like
show.
fishing on his 4-wheeler with his wife.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan's
Hey, sometimes you got to do what the wife asks, you know?
Oh, I
Ask
bet
me
his
how
wife
I
was
know.
pushing him to go to Sundown Show.
happy
She's a
wife,
real
happy
basehead.
life. I don't care what anybody says. Plain and simple. Happy wife, happy life.
Right.
This is true.
That's how I've been married.
Y'all are not helping me rag on Dan at all. And when he's ragging on you two later, I'll be like, "Get him, Dan."
Dan don't rag on me. That's
I'm
my
not good.
there.
I'm not good at ragging on people when I'm put on the spot. I'm just
Right.
not good at it. It's just like you know how I host the show, right? So when I'm hosting, I'm not funny, this is something I've come to realization. In person, I'm actually a pretty funny dude, but when I'm hosting that show, I'm hitting buttons, I'm making sure everything's working right,
Right.
and it's like I'm sure you all have watched Joe Rogan, right? Well, he has a dude named Jamie doing all that stuff. I need to get my own personal Jamie.
Right.
So I can actually have fun at the table.
Right.
And,
Wouldn't that be
that's
cool?
what I need.
How much does it pay? You could possibly have a Jimmy.
Right.
Hey, Jimmy, come on.
Yeah, because like I'm sitting here, I'm looking at you down here, but really the camera's up there. That's where I should be looking. But
I do the
you know,
same
the
thing.
comments
I
are
watch
over
them
there.
down here instead of looking up. But
You know, there's a lot going on other than just a conversation. You know.
Right. It's hard to do both at the same time. I'm not good at multitasking like that. Plain and simple.
Right. Yeah. Well, and especially with this, because you just one little turn of a button here, and then you muted somebody, and you don't know it, and
Yep.
well, I get stuck reading the comments sometimes, and I'll be like lost in space, but I'm actually just reading the comments that are scrolling down.
Right.
So I saw a comment earlier I was going to ask you about. I think it's common knowledge for everybody else, but I don't know anything about it. Somebody kept saying, say how Scar and Sundown are the same, and I heard from somebody else that Scar copied one of you guys' designs. Is that what happened?
OMG. Really?
I mean, did I get it right? I'm assuming.
I
did
did that, but I ignored it. But go ahead.
I did a whole show about this one time because I got fed up one day.
Yeah.
In the beginning of Scar, the owner was a dealer for Sundown products. This was way back in the day.
Right.
That person, we're not going to name him, decided they wanted to start a company of their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they asked for our help, and we helped them. OEM, because we do OEM work for other companies, and we did their first run of subwoofers. That was it. That's the only collaboration. And then, as many people know, and it's been told that they did go behind our backs to factories, this, that, and the other. They copied a bunch, or tried to copy a bunch of stuff. And but that's it. we have no other involvement with them. Obviously, you can see that we left an impression on them, and they wanted to so-called copy our products.
Yeah, and that's indeed what happened. I literally don't know.
It caused a big stink multiple times. There were no legal battles. There could have been a couple times, but we won't go any further.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan Price bought Sundown, and everything just went away.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
JP just buys a lot of our products, plain and simple. He's one of the biggest online retailers we have, period.
For every company.
Yeah.
And he's helped us grow. We've helped him grow since he started his company, and he's done very well. The guy's a mastermind at marketing, period. He's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, he seems to be.
So there's no other owners. There's no other owners of Sundown. It's just Jacob.
Just Jacob, right?
No shareholders. So.
Right.
No stocks,
We're not publicly traded.
Yeah. Well, it was a pretty cool place walking around there. I didn't walk around there just a whole lot, but I think I saw the whole place. But you never know, because every time you think you're there, there's another door.
Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, Crystal, can you get this cat, please?
Kiki Meow.
The kitty cat. The kitty cat wants to say hi, and she's bumping into my camera. Thank you, honey.
I know. I watch all the guys, Derek, in the back with all the vehicles he has and testing and playing, and I'm like, I just want to sneak back there one day, just in the back, because I know there's that room in the back.
Where Derek does his work is usually right next to the shipping area that he works, so he literally has his vehicle in the middle of everything.
Right.
Where he could totally have it somewhere else, but no, he puts it right there so he can just walk out of his office and work on his vehicle and come back. By the way, you guys would laugh at me right now. The reason why I had told her to take the cat is because my setup is so sketchy. So I've been at work, or I've been at home for days, right? All of my camera equipment is at work, including my cell phone holder and stuff. So I took a piece of double stick tape, put it on my phone. I put it on a clothes hamper, and I have it sitting right in front of me on a TV dinner stand.
Now you watch your next live video. I'm gonna get on there and ask how the hamper is holding up.
It's working just fine. So far, the double stick tape is working just fine. So
it's really
sketchy.
Get that joke, but you will. I'm gonna ask how the hamper is holding up. Trust me.
The hamper is doing its job.
Look, I do this every week, and I don't have much more than that. I have actually my webcam leaning up against my desk on the tripod is leaning up against my desk.
Nice.
To get it closer, right?
You don't have it on top of your monitor?
Yes.
No. Okay. So this green screen right behind me, it's far enough away. It's not wide enough. So the green screen is there, so you don't see the mess. I don't have to clean up the office, right?
Right.
just pull it down.
It hides all that.
Yeah, and so, but anyway, it's always these little gaps.
Jimmy's
in the
at the beach over here.
Right?
Yeah. The harbor running up and down.
It's beautiful.
Hey,
got a hell of an ocean over there in Kansas.
Right?
Yeah. I was putting some concerts playing behind me. It was a really cool thing. I played some Rush, some Styx, concerts each week, right? No sound, just you could see them. And YouTube and Facebook killed us almost immediately.
Yeah.
From a picture.
From the video.
It wasn't a photo. It was the video playing behind me. No sound. But
they picked up on that?
They knocked us off live.
Wow.
They banned us for like a month over it.
Wow.
No.
How do they know that?
Different. Yeah. So don't don't go to YouTube and pick you out a good Rush video and have it playing behind you. They will knock you off the air.
I would love to have Neil Peart and his drum set right behind me. They'd be amazing.
A
You
photo,
and me
you probably
both.
could, but that
You
video
and me
didn't work.
both.
Yeah. Oh well.
It
No,
Right,
happens.
we had somebody.
that's the cool thing about why I got the studios. I didn't have to do any green screen stuff. I put a fake
Yeah.
brick wall up, put the sign up.
Yeah.
I put shelving up behind all the seats so we can like put our beer bottles and all the little things that people send us.
Yeah.
Just like little trinkets and
Yeah, that's cool.
bottles of hot sauce. I
Give
put
it
it
a
up
little
there.
ambiance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
cool.
guys got to do some like hot sauce challenges and stuff on your show.
I did it. Well, not on the show, but Joe and Drew sent me the it wasn't the hot chip challenge, it was a hot sucker, and I did that for 5 minutes
Satan's
and
toe.
laughed at it. Yeah, I laughed at it.
Oh yeah.
I remember when you guys did it on your show too. Actually,
we did the Death Nut Challenge first, which is 4 or 5 nuts. Each one gets hotter as you eat it, and that was ridiculous. That one actually was the worst one. And then the second worst would be the one chip challenge.
Yeah.
Which was pretty rough. I actually threw up from the one chip challenge. About an hour later, because once it gets in your stomach,
it's in your stomach and it's done.
It's bad. The Death Nut though messed my stomach up. Yeah, one chip. That's all it is. But the Death Nut was worse. The Death Nut ruined my gut bacteria for like 2 months, and I didn't shit right for like 2 months after that. It was bad. So make sure you're really up on your probiotics before you take these things.
Well, I was gonna do it, but I have the hot chip challenge over there somewhere.
Next week, I think, I don't know what it is. We'll look it up, but we'll get Jimmy on here and we'll get Dan on here and we'll see if they'll do that. Is there some kind of a cinnamon challenge? Cinnamon powder or something?
There was a cinnamon challenge.
Yeah,
that won't hurt, right?
Yeah, well, that can kill them. They get in their lungs. They already got COVID. I mean, you're getting cinnamon challenge. People have COVID.
Dan's from St. Louis, so you know he's got COVID.
Right.
He's probably already had it.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, seriously though, I'm really happy. I hate to say this is really weird. I'm happy that I got it. I got it. And I'm over with it.
Don't have to worry about it.
I hope that they're already talking about another variant, but
yeah.
Hopefully I don't get that.
Yeah.
Well, look, we might have a show there for next week.
There you go. You guys send Dan something. People send us hot sauces and hot challenges all the time. There is another hot sauce. I don't remember what it's called, but one of our fans sent it to us. We have to try that out next.
I like the hot stuff.
I like to put some time between doing those hot challenges because it messes up your gut bacteria. So
man, I can't imagine eating anything that hot. I'm gonna let y'all have that. I'll referee.
So out of our whole crew, Jacob's the only one that actually eats hot food like that. Well, Thomas does a little bit, but Jacob eats hot food. His wife is Mexican, so they're always eating spicy shit. So Jacob's kind of accustomed to it. For me, and especially Donnie, if you ever watch Donnie on the show, Donnie dies every time we do a hot challenge.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
It's funny watching Donnie. He starts crying and
it's bad.
A jalapeno. I'm not even doing jalapenos. I'm below that. Whatever's below that. I ain't eating no jalapeno.
I don't like jalapenos. I don't like the taste of them. I do habaneros, and habaneros are pretty hot. But I prefer the flavor of habanero. And the chili.
I'll tell you a funny story. So I went to meet Steve Stern. At the time, I was trying to purchase Mecca, right? I went to Nashville to meet him and look over Mecca, right? And so we met at this place called Nashville Hot Chicken. Okay, so
some good chicken.
I'd never been there. I didn't know what to order, so I just ordered a sandwich and got whatever sauce. And turns out the sauce was really hot, and so they asked me. They said, "Do you want it on the sandwich or on the side?" And Steve had ordered, and he got his on the side. So I just said, "Well, get mine on the side, right?" So I dipped a little. I'm eating it, and I dipped a little bit of it, and I ate a bite, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's hot." I said, "That's some hot chicken." And so I was dipping in the sauce, trying to cool my mouth down. Turns out it was the sauce, and I'd I done went through a whole drink and I'm gone after another one, and I'm trying to because I had not met Steve, right, and I didn't want to just lose it right there, but and I was dipping that bread, and now I put the chicken aside. I'm just using the bread, dipping the sauce to eat it and try to cool down.
It's just getting hotter and hotter.
Oh yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking, my God, am I sweating? You know, and he's just munching on his, but he's just dabbing a little bit. And then finally, I figured out the sauce is what done it. Man, I was on fire, and I'm telling you, I was on fire the next day too. We won't be doing that again.
I understand that.
Oh my God,
Steve's a good guy. I met Steve for the first time at Slamology many years ago. He knew who I was. I knew who he was. We just didn't meet. While I was walking with Jacob, Steve sees us. He waves us down, brings us in his trailer, gives us all a good drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve likes his whiskey.
Yeah, I don't know him that well. I didn't know him from Adam until I reached out to him to try and get Mecca, and honestly, I just couldn't come up with the money.
Right.
But Bud and Shannon, I understand, have purchased, and so they did come up with the money. I don't know what the deal was, but so they've got new owners there. But yeah, Steve, I think he done really well with Mecca, man.
Yeah, the organization's been around for a long time.
20 years, I think, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. DV Drag, I believe, is a little bit older, right?
Which one?
DV Drag, Wayne Harris's company. I believe that's a little bit older.
They've never been in our area, which is kind of how Base Wars got started.
Over here.
There was
really.
nothing going on here, so I started the Base Wars. And
where's the big conglomerate of the Base Wars shows at? The general area.
Billy has a lot down in his area.
I have a lot down south,
and I have a lot up here during the summer. Billy he has the advantages of being able to run in November and December and stuff.
We don't stop all year long. But there's also the fact that I've started here, so it's older here. So like one year, man, I did 70-something shows by myself before I had help.
That hurts.
Right? Yeah, it did hurt. And that's why I got help. And so me and Jimmy got to talking, and then Jimmy started doing it up there. And then Jordan came along down here in the south, and he lives about a couple hours from me. And so he kind of took over my schedule, what I had.
Right.
And now I kind of fill in the shows. I'm not going to ask Jordan to drive, 10 hours, because that's going to be a loser for the most part, right? And so I'm not going to ask them to do that. But I'll go do it to try and grow the org,
Right.
Mm-hmm. But
and now you're trying to work your way. You're trying to work your way east a little bit now.
We got the country covered straight up through the center, but
100.
I'm looking for somebody around the Indianapolis area. I think it is, and I think we almost have it covered. We need somebody in your area, maybe a little bit north of you,
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, once we get those, we'll be covered the whole.
Why are you interested, Brian?
I don't got time for all that, guys.
Right.
But I might have some people that may be interested, possibly, and maybe I can help you out.
Yeah.
See what I can do.
I got Jerry Jaco. Do you know him?
What's the name again?
He was at y'all's tent, at Jonathan Price's tent, with that blue limo. Yeah. Yep. So I'm setting up some shows with him, and either he's going to start helping us out, or he knows somebody's going to start helping us out in that South Carolina area. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that's the South Carolina Georgia border, or either it's the South Carolina North Carolina border. I don't remember which, but I think it's
out by us. Base Outlaws is really big, which is its own organization. They have a lot of team members, and they have a lot of weekly shows. It seems like almost in this general area, but they're really big.
We got Team Base Outlaws down here as well too.
Oh, that's the same team though, right?
I'm not for sure. I'm sure it is.
I think it is. I think Base Outlaws is pretty big.
Yeah.
But this area is really big with Base Outlaws.
But I know I've seen the T-shirts and stuff at a couple of shows. And
a lot down here at mine.
Okay. Yeah. decals or something.
You got Team Ain't Loud, of course, too, and
Yep.
I mean, there's so many teams where you just keep
It seems
naming
like
them
the Team Ain't Loud guys, a lot of those guys are more demo friendly, more demo guys than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, my phone's starting to move here.
But-
My double-sided tape is starting to mess up. There we go.
Well,
Right.
it's kind of hard though when you got Johnny sitting in the background.
Right.
We all know who Johnny is and Sam Dunn. I used to be on Team Ain't Loud for a long time.
Yeah, they're good. They're good people for sure.
Great guys.
Yep.
Well,
Johnny
works at Sundown, right?
Yeah, well, Johnny doesn't work for us. So Johnny is a dealer, and he is in our building. He is basically when anybody stops by, because people stop by, they think they could just come by and buy stuff from us, but we don't sell direct to the public. So Johnny's next door. We just send him his way.
Mm-hmm.
However, lately, ever since COVID, Johnny's been more by appointment only. So I just give them his phone number, and they make an appointment.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Cool.
He's a great guy.
Yep.
He's a big old teddy bear, as I like
He
to
sure
say.
is.
He hates it when I say it, but he's a big old teddy bear. He's like 6'4", just a big old guy. Big guy.
He's a hard ass on the internet, but if you know him, he's a son.
No, he's not. He's a big teddy bear.
So.
Right.
You guys have any more questions for me?
Well, I mean, no, not really. You kind of answered all the questions that I had a chance to write down.
Yeah. Have y'all put a date for next year's show yet?
Not that I know of. However, it's usually the second week of August in most cases.
Yeah, okay.
I will be there next year. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you got to come. We're going to outgrow that track for sure. Might have to find a different place.
That's done.
So it's a big track, and they love us, and they treat us very well there, and we don't really want to mess up that relationship. However, we'll see what happens in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
it's about filled up already. The outside too.
Yeah, they do the SQ stuff outside because obviously it's loud on the inside.
Yeah.
But that's also the parking lot. So the parking lot's only so big.
It was very full. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at some point in time, I definitely love to have you and a couple other people on to chit chat. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I think you have a little influence there at Sundown.
Yep.
Hint.
Well,
well, I tried to get Jacob on. He just wasn't having it today, in general.
Yeah.
So.
Do I need to send Jacob a big bottle of bourbon because I know he loves
that might help.
bourbon?
So okay,
for Jacob, it's Scotch, by the way.
Just because I'm curious, I can't remember what it was, but he had some whiskey that smelled like burnt voice coil.
Yep, that's called Lefroy.
Called what?
Oh, it's good. It's good shit. You have to get accustomed to it.
Yes.
It's called Lefroy. Yeah. It's pretty expensive Scotch, and it's called a peated whiskey or peated Scotch, and it's heavily peated, and it tastes like a burnt voice coil. It really does.
Burnt voice coil. Yeah.
I don't know what it tastes like, but I smelled it at out in Vegas. I think is where we were. Where I saw you guys.
Yeah, that's right. When we were at the kicker thing,
Yeah. And it was the next. Yeah, that's right. It was there. Yeah, and the next day, but you guys were at that show, and I was like, huh. And it really did smell like a burnt voice coil.
It sure 100%. Does.
So
it's an acquired taste for sure. So.
No doubt. I don't want to drink it. I don't want to buy it. I was just curious what it was.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll have to get you a bottle.
No, be gentle. Make it a small one. Right?
Sample size.
I seriously am going to reach out to Chris and try to schedule a trip up there in the next, probably the next few weeks anyway.
Cool.
Make sure
let us know.
You're going to be there.
I totally forgot to mention this. I know we're getting close to the end here, but I forgot to mention something.
Yeah.
Me, Derek, and Daniel Powell from Jakar. We all went up to Bristol, Tennessee, and we did a show with Motorhead Garage.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I totally forgot to do that. It's going to air here in a couple weeks. It'll be on TV.
Oh man! So what did you guys do?
Had his own vehicle in that.
So here's the show is split up into 3 segments. I can't believe I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
So they contacted us. It got sent over to me, and I started talking to their producers, and they were like, "Hey, we like your products." And that show is basically a show about product. It's a big advertisement, is what it is.
Okay.
So they kind of show off new equipment, new tools, new this, new that, stuff for in the automotive industry.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have some audio stuff on the show. And they're like, "Hey, we see you guys are pretty cool. Would you like to showcase some of your products?" I was like, "Well, we've never been on your show. Let's showcase the whole company first. Just have a good introduction of Sundown Audio." And that's how we did it. So the first segment is me talking about the company. The second segment is Derek talking about certain products. And then the third segment is Daniel showing off one of his builds. And we actually brought in two girls to show off a hair trick, because how else are you going to show what something sounds like on TV? You have to show girls' hair. So we did some hair tricks with some girls, and we had a really good time doing it. I was super nervous. I do YouTube. I've got my own studio. I'm on a camera all the time. It is totally different when you are in front of the big screen.
And you got 10 people sitting there watching you. Yeah, I can see it being different. Yeah,
it is totally different. So they're gonna have to edit like my whole thing to make it just work.
Right.
The cool thing about it is, I'm talking, but they've got a lot of B-roll film. So you're not going to see me talking. You're going to see most of the film that they're showing off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so they'll be able to edit like every sentence. Like, here's where he says this, and here's. So they're professional over there. They're really good at what they do.
I've seen the video. I think it was that you posted probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, where you were sitting inside Daniel's thing, and he was like, "He's never ready. He doesn't have the song."
Right. Yeah, he had to go get a thumb drive.
Yeah, had to run to
so
his
that
car.
That was the day that we were. That was the day we were driving up to Tennessee to do that filming. So they did. It's like a half a show, and the other half will be a different company. And then they also made us a commercial. So the commercial will air on the Motor Trend Network along with our TV show, and we're allowed to use a commercial however we want. So I actually took the commercial and put it in my last podcast as a cut.
Yeah. Hey, you know how much money that just saved you guys?
Right.
Right.
Well, no, it was still expensive. we had to pay for that. Yeah, we had to pay for it. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of negotiated a contract with us, and we're going to come back, probably show off the new Power Sports stuff once that's all 100%. And we plan on being a part of the Motor Trend Network with those guys for however long they want us.
Isn't that cool?
That's pretty cool, actually. One day we'll be.
I've always wanted to be on TV.
Right?
my first time.
Yeah, that's exciting. Hey, that might come back. Y'all might have a Sundown show right there.
The closest thing that I've had is a couple of news exposures.
Yeah, it'd be cool. They're actually building a new studio because they were in the Borla factory. The Borla exhausts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Borla was renting out part of their building for their studio for the last 3-4 seasons. So we actually got to hang around the whole Borla factory, which is freaking massive, by the way. You think our building's big? The Borla factory it's like football fields and football fields of building.
You just never think about an exhaust having something like that.
Well, think about how big an exhaust system is and how many of them they have to have in the building.
Right. How many different cars, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. But they are now building a new studio apparently in Bristol, Tennessee. And hopefully we get on. Well, I know that we're going to get back on with them. I just don't know when.
Huh. Well, that's pretty cool.
So they're good people over there.
Thanks, Paul.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys for having me. It was a good time.
Man. We appreciate you coming. We like to have guests.
And I'll be back to work tomorrow for the first time in over a week. Working from home sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
Very much, I bet.
Yep.
It's not as fun as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
No. It's
Maybe
cool
for
for a couple days. That's about
I
it.
was gonna say maybe the first
Right.
week, maybe.
The cool thing is I didn't have to put any clothes on for a whole week. This is
Right.
the
You're
first
gonna
time I
feel
put a shirt
special
on.
tomorrow, right? You're gonna feel real special tomorrow.
Right.
Look,
Mm.
look, hang on. Here's Corey saying hi.
Love you too, buddy. And Corey, I'll get to your email tomorrow when I actually get into work.
No, ignore Corey.
Corey emails me all the time.
Oh, I know. Corey's a great guy. Great guy.
Well, that's cool. Well, man, thank you for coming on. I don't know what y'all are East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's-
Oh, okay. So for
He's
you,
at 9/11.
It's 9/11 right now.
Yeah.
It's bedtime.
I smell. My girlfriend's making like a cake or a cheesecake. Or something.
Food calling
So I
your
might have
name?
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, I smell it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on tonight and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, man.
No problem.
We
Hey, you guys
appreciate
take care, and I hope a lot of success to Base Wars and to your podcast.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
I
we'll see
appreciate
you
it.
soon.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
See you. All right. Bye-bye. Well, that was pretty cool. Now,
Yeah.
who's our next victim?
Brian's an awesome guy. 100%.
Yeah.
I've had
I don't
many
know.
of
I don't know a whole lot about the company or anything like that, so I didn't have a lot to ask. But I'm sure probably now I think back and could ask a whole lot. Come tomorrow,
I've had a lot of good conversations with Brian way back when he actually used to own Directronics and stuff, and I was first starting out reconning subs. He kind of actually gave me some tips and pointers along the way, so
Yeah.
I appreciate him for sure.
Well, being a little bit of a business guru, the questions I like to ask, they really shouldn't answer
No,
on the
on live, exactly.
on live, on camera. So I just kind of.
I know, Steve. We didn't ask any technical questions. That's for a later podcast. I wanted to save some of the good questions for hopefully somebody else in Sundown to come on and maybe chit chat with us one day.
Who would be a good technical person to have on to drill about questions? Because that's fun. Now, I did talk out. How about that Lester guy? Would he be good?
Jacob.
Yep. But
Jacob.
Brian said Jacob don't like being on TV.
I know. It'll happen one day. Maybe if we get Drew on here, Brian or Jacob and everybody else to come on.
Yeah.
We use Drew and Brian and maybe a couple other guys. We'll get everybody on in a big collage of people. Maybe he'll come on.
Maybe when I go up there, I could bring my computer, right? And we could do it on a special episode.
Yes, I know. Absolutely.
Dang, he's selling it already?
Yep.
He didn't like God?
Well, he's got some personal issues that he's trying to make a little money. But yeah, you should actually go up there and try to go inside Brian's After Dark studio and make a Base Wars on Monday.
Yeah, just bring me I know, dude. I'll bring a Base Wars behind the decal and put it right under his little Sundown decal.
You go up there on a Monday night. We'll go live. We'll go live from his show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Do a
That'd be
special
pretty cool.
episode because it probably won't be a Monday night, but it could be, I guess.
Never know.
Could be. Yeah, I could drive up on a Sunday and do stuff that day, and then maybe that night. Yeah, maybe so. I talked with Chris Munson about it because he'd be the man with the plan anyway.
Chris is an amazing guy. Nathan is where all the experience and knowledge is.
Yeah.
Not that Chris don't have it.
Yeah, he seemed pretty.
Chris knows his
pretty
stuff.
level-headed guy.
But
I talked to him for a little bit while I was up there that Sunday morning after the show.
Yeah, Chris is very smart, and he's put in a lot of time and dedication into the sport. Mm-hmm. So for anybody to say that he got lucky because of his dad, truthfully don't know Chris. Chris has put a lot of time and hard work into the sport as well.
Well, you know what? There's this too, and it's just a simple fact. If you got a dad that's been sitting there doing the stuff and he knows it, it's not like he's not going to tell his son. And just because his son knows it, that ain't a knock on him. It's just,
No.
imagine what he'll be able to extend that knowledge by the time he gets a little older.
And keep growing.
And then guess what? When he's got a son or a daughter that wants to be involved, imagine that, that's the way it goes. Same way with money too. As families get wealthier and wealthier, that's just the way it is.
Exactly.
My opinion, anyway.
Sorry, answering.
There's a lot of people out there. They just dumb as dirt. They just starting out. Their family just starting. Their generation just starting. Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking about being dumb as dirt.
I wouldn't say dumb as dirt, but I'm definitely a worker.
Right. Right. Yeah, me too. But hold on. I went all the trouble to create this, and we might as well use it. Last week I forgot as well.
Put the banner up. Yes.
There we go.
We might actually have maybe a special guest for that show too, as well.
Right.
I'm not going to say who, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Might be. What's that guy's name? You're famous. I can't think of it.
I will say that they will be giving away a belt this weekend for the loudest of the day. And I'm not talking a little bitty belt. I'm talking an actual size belt that wraps around you. This is the loudest of the day, basically.
Now will that be? Will that include or not include Port Wars?
No, it does not include.
Include Port Wars. That's right.
No, I did that one year, and I got so much feedback, so much drama over that. It will not include Port Wars at all.
Yeah. I was just curious if you learned a lesson.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. Yes. No, Port Wars will not be included in that no more.
Right.
Yeah, Paul, you should come up this weekend. Show them, if you stop blowing stuff from other organizations before you get my lanes, maybe you could see.
Right.
I'm just going to say that.
So, hey, I'm going to pose a question. I almost don't want to pose it, but I'm kind of tired of trying to guess at it, okay? Because I realize this is a Base Wars show, and most people probably run Base Wars. Steve Herman's a good example. He runs. He's set up to run DB Drag this year, and he's happy doing that. And so I kind of know his answer. But for those guys that don't run Base Wars so much, and they run all the other orgs first, and then they come to us, how come that is? What is it about the other orgs that would make somebody want to go to them first? And I'm not asking a slam on us or them at all. I'm just curious.
I want to say, in my opinion, it's what they're used to and their points for finals.
Yeah.
Because still a lot of them have every intention to go into that organization for finals. Not that they're not coming to our finals, because here's
the example. I sat up at Sundown, and I had to get on the microphone and ridicule and mess with people to get them to run the lanes. And there were other orgs there running 80 and 100 people, and we were lucky to get 20. And I know it's because we're new there, but when I go down to Florida, we've been there for now over a year, and still, if they run Base Wars, they're going to run the other orgs first, right? I'm just wondering what it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is that causes that, or what the reason is.
I've had a couple experiences both ways. Where, when I first started out up here, all I heard was, let me go to this other organization and do what I have to do, and then I'll come back and visit you. Well, now, because of finals and everything else that people have seen, they're like, okay, well, do I go there first? Do I go here first? Well, I can put up a better number over here because I can put the mic wherever I want to, so let me go here first, and then I'll go over there. So I've kind of I've experienced a little bit of both, actually, to be truthful with you. Because when
Well,
I
I
first
mean, we
started out,
definitely
it was
have.
hard.
I'm not knocking us. I'm just. I know there are places that we go that they're going to run base wars first, and they may or may not run another war, right? So I get it. I just don't know why, and that's what I wonder.
Well, here you go, Steve. There, look at Steve's name.
Okay, so Steve, but now and here right here, he likes the stiffer competition of DB drag, but even that stiffer competition of DB drag, what causes DB drag to be stiffer? It is only the people in it,
The rules.
right? No, it's the people in it. All those same people could run a different org, and now all that competition's in a different org. So it's kind of like the network effect, kind of like Facebook. Everybody hates Facebook, but yet everybody's on Facebook, right? Everybody hates getting censored, but they don't leave. Well, they might leave for 30 days, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but I'm thinking it's points and just what they're used to, but I don't know. And if I don't know what it is, I can't, I can't target
It's concerning
to
the
make us
elite
better.
organizations is worldwide. Well, I wouldn't. I don't think there is a such thing as a worldwide organization anymore, though, Steve. Let's be truthful about that.
Well, no. Now DB Drag, they definitely worldwide. They definitely worldwide.
But are they really though? Because they don't do. Well, I'm just going to
Yeah.
shut up.
They do. I looked into it. They do. Now it's fallen way off because of COVID, right? So they're but on the norm, yeah, they do it. But and I guess I should, but I don't. I've not gone and looked into the websites or what they really do. So, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is if the worldwide competition is in, let's say, North Carolina, if the loudest people are on the East Coast or West Coast or whatever, does it really matter if they're worldwide? So, really, I guess what I'm asking is there anybody loud that's not in America? Now, I know in the other countries they do the stunt wall thing really big.
You got Alan Dante or Alan Hall or I'm sorry,
where is he at?
Sweden, I think. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
He's loud. He's very loud. He was like one of the first people to actually put up the 180. I remember Brazil. He said Brazil and Europe is where all the loud guys are, and I believe Alan's in Brazil. I don't know. But yeah, I mean he's one person I can say right off the top of my head that is very loud, and you have Team Death Bounce that's in Russia. They're very loud as well too.
Yeah,
Alan Dante. Yeah, I thought I said his name right.
Well, I guess I ask really mainly because I sit in a field with 200 competitors, and 180 of them run other orgs, and then they don't run us. And I'm trying to figure out how to change that.
Patience and time, and everybody.
Yeah, around here, it's base wars. Where I'm at, it's base wars. If another org shows up, they're not going to do very well, right? So I get it. I'm on both sides, but I just don't know why it is, and that's what I was kind of trying to figure out.
Honestly, my opinion, I think time and patience, because I've seen it up here. Because when I first started out up here, I went from like 15, 20 people showing up to shows to I put up one of the biggest numbers in base wars. It was like, I think it was 75 runs or something, or maybe even 80. I can't remember the exact score off the top of my head, but I can understand the patience and time sometimes it takes. And I know you probably experienced that starting out in the beginning.
Oh yeah, man. I can remember I drove down to Slidell, Louisiana one time and sat there by myself. Not one person showed up. The next time I went down there, one guy showed up, and he come from the Hattiesburg, the town I lived in. He came from that town. That's just one place, for an example. I can remember having 3 competitors in Biloxi or Gulfport, 2 or 3 when I started in the Jackson, Mississippi area, and so yeah, I mean that's just the way it is. But now we don't really have a lot of those 2 and 3, uh, shows anymore. Now they're 15 and 20, 10 if they're but most of the time they're 20, 15, 20, which is good, considering where we were not too long ago.
I think people forgot about the Midwest, because we're kind of just, smack dab in the center. But there's still a lot of great competitors down here, and a lot of people that really want to compete. And I think people forgot, just to be honest. There's some pretty loud people that are getting ready. I say give it another couple years after the whole COVID thing passes and everybody can get back to normal. I think some pretty impressive numbers are going to start coming out of the Midwest. Not that I'm saying we're better than anybody, and I'm not calling nobody out, so don't take that wrong, but I just really honestly think that it's going to get really bad. Really,
Well, here's a good one. Wonder what class this puts him in. Wonder what he's got. Daniel, what do you have, man?
But why though? I mean, honestly, in the long
That's
run,
what I'm saying. What does he have?
When you go and you actually put a clamp or put that on your vehicle, and you realize I bought a 7,500 watt amp and I'm only getting 3,000 watts out of it. What does that initially do? That upsets you, that makes you mad, that makes you go spend more money to get better, to get better, to get better, to get better. If you don't know that numbers and you pull up to the lane and you're doing a 55, the most you think is I need to do a little box work or I need to change this. I think it takes clamp hurts feelings. That's it. I mean, 100%. Steve said that. I can't say that better than anybody else.
Right.
The clamp actually 100% hurts your feelings and your pocketbook. Well, because you spend big money for an amplifier and you might not get half, if maybe even a quarter out of the rated power, as they say, because of all the other variables in your.
But what does this guy have right here? I want to address his concern, right? This is something I'd like to know. All the orgs use a clamp to measure power, but we don't base ours on power really, and that's the reason I kind of want. All right, he runs. Okay, he's got two 18s and a 9K and a trunk. Okay, well, yep, that's a big trunk. Yep. Yep. Now, in those other orgs, does that 2 18s and 9K, does that not put him in the top trunk class they have? I don't know about the other orgs. Is the reason I ask. Is he, in other words, is he in the top class for trunk and the other orgs as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Turner, what did your 75 clamp? I got 9 point. It was almost 10K out of mine at half ohm. Well, I'm sorry, out of the depth bones at half ohm. But that was the AAK amplifier.
So when I did this, when I come up with this idea of first, we don't even worry much about power, but I figured by just going by rated power, you're not going to many times have much more than rated power because of impedance rise. But so I just didn't think it really mattered. 4K and 3. I don't understand. So is 4K the top?
Yes.
Okay, and so he's clamping less than clamps 3K. Is that what he said? 9K amp.
I don't know. It's somewhere back up here. Let me see. But yeah, somewhere in there. But I understand.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
Yes. Well, and that's kind of the biggest thing right there is you spent all that money to buy that big amplifier and you're not getting what you think you should get out of it. And immediately the first thing you think, or not just you, let me rephrase that. The first thing most people think is it's a bad amplifier. It's not producing what it should. It's this. Let me blame the brand. Let me blame the product or whatever else. And 90% of the time, it's not that
So
at all.
what brand amplifier is it? Anybody know?
No,
He'll
I don't.
maybe he'll come in.
I don't know which one he's talking
But
about.
either way, my curiosity question is this: is
Tom,
that when
sorry,
he
I don't
comes with this 9K, and it's a DC 9K, okay,
DC
so it's
9K.
a DC. So is there an amplifier? And let's say he's getting 3K out of it, okay? Is there an amplifier that he could have bought that's a different brand that is, say, a 3K amp that literally does 3K? Okay, so let's change that to a 5K amp that maybe does 3K. Is there a brand that would do that?
It depends on everything from his power to his impedance to, I mean,
Well,
what's his
theoretically, his
voltage?
impedance
I
wouldn't
mean,
change,
everything.
right?
As long as everything stays the same, I can't honestly tell you that a Boss amp wouldn't perform better. Well, no, that's not true. I'm not even going to go down that far. But
Right.
you put a
So,
DC amp against a Sundown amp against a Death Bounce amp that are all the exact same builds. I can't promise you that one of them is going to perform better than the other.
so he says he's got an 8-time rise. That's a subwoofer thing.
I had 8 times in my Nitro, so I do definitely understand that. Yes,
Wow.
but that's also why I had 47500s.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I understand that it's each vehicle is different depending on the power, depending on the box, depending on just. I mean, there's so many different variables that people don't understand. The best thing I can honestly say from my little bit of experience is test, tweak, and test some more.
Right. Hey, Steve, what do you rise to, man, on this? Yeah. See, that's kind of where I was going with this line of questioning right here. But point is, you got a DC 9K and that puts you in our big class. I get it. But that's a good answer. That's what I was asking. Why would somebody run the other orgs first and then come to us for like sloppy seconds? And so that's what I was wanting to know. So that's a good answer. Dang. Yeah, that's about 8 times. 8, 9 times rise. That's right. Right. Yeah, this that 218s that definitely puts you in the big one. There's not a lot of trunks that's got anything bigger than that, so that's kind of where you ought to go anyway, I guess. Not many trunks got more than 218s. I've seen a trunk with 812s, but for the most part, those trunks are usually 215s, 212s, you know. But it's not to say that later date, if we find enough people that's running the classes, which they do run them, to change and maybe add another tier, you know.
I apologize. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, trying to catch up on the comments here.
Yeah, they have that mean. I guess rise is inversely equal. Right? Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole nother topic by itself.
Yeah, if you plan for it, I guess that's why you have to have a 20K amp to get 8,000 watts out of it. I mean, it just is what it is. It's just physics or electric, whatever. It's
All of
physics.
the above.
Yeah.
Just to cover it all of the above.
Right. Yeah. Huh. So, but here's the thing: they could use a more efficient speaker and get more power. Correct? Out of the amps. I'm not saying that efficient speaker would hold. I'm saying they get more power out of that amp. Right?
Depending on the build.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The more efficient speaker.
I would say yes, but also
Yeah,
depending
well,
on the build.
it's physics, so they would get more power out, right?
100%.
But getting it to hold together would be the thing.
That's
would be the tough part.
Switching from a ferrite to a neo, you know? Yes, absolutely.
What's the difference in that?
Less power.
Less power for the ferrite for which?
The neo.
Neo, how come? Do you know?
Because it's more efficient.
More efficient. Wonder how come and why.
But in that same sense, they don't handle the heat as well. So I mean, there's a whole lot of physics and
right.
I don't. That's way beyond my pay grade. So I'm gonna just stop right there. I don't know.
Right.
Some coils there. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The harder that thing is to push in, the harder it's going to take an amp to move it. And that's inefficient. So the easier it is to move, the less power it takes. But the problem is once it gets so easy to move, it fries. Correct?
So I can go to Walmart and buy some cheap $19 Sony Explodes and get loud.
Well, they would hit you in the back of the head, but yeah. For a second, you could be loud. Right?
That's why I said I didn't want to get into that conversation because that could be a whole nother 5-6 hour show right there on itself.
Right. Yeah.
But it was pretty cool for Bryan to come on tonight. I definitely appreciate that. And definitely appreciate you guys for watching us and sticking around. And how many shows are we on now, Billy? Can you pull that info up?
This is number 76, man.
76. We're getting there. Yeah. We're going to have to do something big for our 100th show.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I wanted to have a big shindig for our 100th show. That came and went by so fast. I missed it.
Well, maybe we'll do something for my 100th show, but I couldn't even begin to tell you what number I'm on.
You have to go back and count those events on the page there. You can go back and look at the very first Base Wars ever was.
Yeah.
You know?
But who's got the time to sit and count?
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't either. Mm-hmm. So DJ, you and I have been playing phone tag, man. But so I hooked you up. I'm planning on you doing that show at Rob's place in a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember the date. And also, Montgomery's show scheduled it up today.
Is DJ the guy that you've been talking to about coming on?
Yeah, he's in a little bit in Mobile or a little bit north of Mobile. He's got that little black Festiva. I know you've seen photos of it. It's a pretty popular little car. Yeah. But yeah, so he's gonna start helping out. So
amazing. Well, welcome, Steve or DJ. Sorry.
Right.
I want to say Steve. I was looking at comments and seeing Steve Herman's name in there.
Right.
Said, call him tomorrow.
I've got a good idea, Jimmy. I got a good idea.
What's that?
We're going to recruit Steve Herman. We should recruit Steve Herman and let him run all the Base Wars clamp shows.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Right?
Yes. He has to be the guy that comes and clamps everything at every show.
Right. He we'll call it Base Wars Clamped. It'll just be a little subsidiary, right?
Base Wars Clamped with Steve Herman.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're not doing clamp shows, DJ. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Go away.
Right. Yeah,
You know how
man.
many times I've been at shows with other organizations that clamp and they're there like 4 and 5 hours after we're done?
So, uh, so listen. So this is kind of a plan, and I'll let the cat out of the bag. Uh, so we're gonna start doing some clamp classes, but it's not gonna be the base wars. It's gonna be we're gonna do some SQ shows, right? Not base wars. Jimmy's not, but we're gonna start something that's SQ, and at the SQ shows we're gonna have the clamp classes. There, I figured that's a good compromise. At the SQ shows, you don't have as many people running the lanes. You got time, uh,
I could
and
do that.
most of the people that really like the clamp, they're really technical people, and they're not going to be out there beating the block down. While you're trying to judge an SQ vehicle. So I've been planning this for a little bit, but I just didn't want to say anything until I can make sure it comes to fruition. But I'm pretty confident it is now. Right? So, but that's going to be different judges. There have to be SQ judges spread about. So that's another something.
Whole nother topic.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, all right, Jimmy. I think I'm about done for this evening.
I would agree with that one, sir. I think we're past our little time limit here that we were trying to keep on, but
yeah, we try to keep it under 30 minutes for you guys, but
he's at 30.
Sometimes we get long-winded.
Absolutely.
This is our we call this the Iron Horse.
Iron Horse. Yes, we have that class called. We have talked about that, and you were supposed to bring your motorcycle and did not. You failed. So step back.
Yeah.
Anyways, I definitely want to say thank you to all you guys, for all the love and support you show us.
Right.
We, Billy, me, Jordan, all the other guys that are coming on, wouldn't be where we're at without you guys. No, first and foremost. Sure. So we definitely appreciate you guys.
Y'all make it fun. If it wasn't fun, we wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be doing it for sure.
I wouldn't be doing it at all.
So, well, all right. Well, we will see you guys next week. And we want to thank Bryan for coming on with us. It's always fun to have guests.
Absolutely.
They definitely. Anytime the camera or you guys' attention can be focused on somebody other than me, it's a win. Right? So, but anyway, good luck to everybody that's getting over the storm. We got a lot of competitors over in Louisiana that just got hammered, And then some of them that evacuated. David Bryant, you met him. The hotel he was at, that somebody went and knocked out 18 windows in the hotel parking lot and went through everybody's vehicles. I don't think they stole audio stuff, but just went through hunting what they could. Anyway, so that happened too. So that really sucks. But anyway, good luck to everybody. Getting over that storm. I know what that's like. So if you need any help, just yell. And we will see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.